Go. Right behind him, the Australian, John Caridad, looks down at a pair of 8s. He's got that mid-pair that you often wonder what you do with them when a guy in front of you raises. He's going to make the call.
Yep. Great player. Phil Ivey going out, and now Justin Smith. They call him Boosted Jay. Also going to fold.
Well, he made this final table a year ago and has made it again, Vince. Very impressive by Justin.
So two-way action. And look at this flop. 3 of a kind for John Caridad, and aces there for Moritz.
Could be the Hindenburg for the German here. He's flopped top pair, but he's up against bottom set. He checks after raising free flop.
And John is not going to play his 3 of a kind sneaky. He has bet 150,000, and he gets a call here by Moritz. Going to the turn.
Well, 5 of hearts comes off on the turn. And Moritz, who raised before the flop top pair, has checked again. And Moritz is drawn completely dead here, as we say. No card he can catch to win it. Just a matter how much he's going to lose.
But the chip leader from down under, property developer with a 3 of a kind right now, setting up more chips, not going to play it slow, pushing in 400,000.
And before this pot started, Moritz was in second chip position, so the chip leader's clashing on deal number 1 here.
And he gets a call again by Moritz. What a disaster here happening. Hand number 1, river card coming up.
Well, a jack comes off. That may save the German some money because he might have put the guy on a jack, in which case he'd now have 3 jacks.
725.
And without hesitation, the Australian fires yet again, 725,000.
Moritz making the right decision. He shakes loose. And the Aussie's going to show his full house.
Good show? Full house.
Ivy looking very interested.
Everybody looking to that.
Very nice. I bet too much in the river.
Must be nice to flop a set in the first hand.
You know, I wouldn't be showing these guys my cards if it was me.
Yeah, it is nice. To be crowned a WPT champion is, in a way, something money can't buy. I'd love to be the second Aussie. Where do I sign?
Well, Joe Hashem won here at Bellagio. Will John Caridad be the next Aussie to do it?
Just a great start for the chip leader there, taking down the first pot.
Well, look at this. John Caridad has picked up a pair of 7s in hand number 2.
Well, the middle pair worked great for him last time as he flopped a set to win the pot. So why not play the 2 7s?
Makes it 165,000 to go, but Phil Ivey right behind it with an ace-jack.
He's going to make the call here.
Justin Smith out, as is Rob Akery, and Eric also out. So two-way action, Ivey involved, and Ivey picks up aces.
Well, comes ace-6-3, all spades. Now the Australian does have a flush draw as he's got the 7 of spade, and he makes the continuation bet here.
Yeah, 140 grand. Phil not going anywhere. He's making this call. And here comes the turn.
So king of clubs comes off. So Ivey still out in front with the ace-jack. But the amateur continues to fire, this time 350,000.
Ivey with no spade in his hand, but he does have aces.
Well, the graphics you see are in 4 colors, what we call a 4-color deck in poker. Spades are black, hearts are red, diamonds are blue, and clubs are green.
Oh, Mike, what's the difference? A bad beat is a bad beat in any color.
Well, most online players love to use 4-color decks because it helps them identify flushes where you don't misread your hand.
And Ivey is going to speculate, makes the tough call.
And the 4 hearts comes off.
Helps neither player. What will the Aussie do? Will he fire the 3rd time? Yes, with just a pair of 7s, going to stick out 500,000.
I'll tell you, it's tough, Vince, to put an amateur on a bluff, firing 3 bullets. But this guy has done it here. Is Phil Ivey up to the task to make this call? Now, this will be most all his chips. If he makes the call here, he will be down virtually to the felt if he would lose this pot. But he is staring this Australian down, watching those facial expressions.
And the Aussie's making a lot of them. Not a great poker face. And look at this. Phil might have picked up on it. He's making a solid call.
Good call.
Nice win by Phil.
Wow. What a call by Phil Ivey right there. Folks, that was virtually a tournament life. And Vince, you just wonder if that weakish bet was the tip that Ivy needed to decipher that situation.
I think if I go all in, he calls quicker.
Well, you know the Australian saying to himself, Vince, you know, I might be the chip leader here, but maybe I should try to pick on somebody else besides the world's greatest player.
No, good call.
This season on the WPT, we have a new feature which brings you in-depth analysis and uncensored commentary from one of the brightest young minds in the game in a segment we call The Raw Deal.
Hi, I'm Tony Dunst, known online as Bond 18. Let's take a closer look at that last hand. There's a part of me that's impressed by John Karadad simply because he has the balls to try and bluff Phil Ivey. However, the river bluff is a clear mistake, and here's why. First is the sizing. When John bets $500K into a pot of over $1.4 million, he's laying Ivey an excellent price at nearly 4-to-1 to make a call with anything in his range that has showdown value. Second, I think John is failing to think about Ivey's hand range properly here. Although John likely thinks that Ivey can call a small flop bet with a wide range of hands including many holdings that are drawing and don't have showdown value, a number of the hands that Ivey would call both pre-flop and the flop with, like King-Queen, King-Jack, and King-10 containing a spade, pick up showdown value on the turn. Additionally, John can't be sure that if Ivey had a drawing hand that he would merely call on 2 streets instead of putting a raise in somewhere to try and blow John off a weaker holding. By the time they reach the river, John should know Ivey almost always has a hand with showdown value, and John's best play would have been to check and pray that Ivey checks behind. Instead he bets, and to exacerbate John's problems, he completely fails to keep his poker face together. I mean, come on, I've seen girls say, I don't usually do this kind of thing, with more believability in their face than this guy in the middle of the bluff. Look here, he's squirming in his chair, feigning a weakish smile. I mean, I'm an online player, and I know that doesn't look right. I know it's hard, but when you make a WPT final table, you've got to set your emotions aside and maintain your physical composure, especially if you're going to get creative against players that are the caliber of Phil Ivey.
We will be right back with more from Bellagio, including my interview with Season 8 WPT Player of the Year, Faraz Jaka. Don't go away. But you put people on crazy monkey toe.
My nemesis, Justin Smith.
Eric, I played all day at day 2 and day 3 and a lot of day 4 with. So I now have a lot of history with him.
He just kept on taking my chips. He really had my number.
Yeah, he told me that I give him nightmares for the past 2 nights. We're going to have to check with him on that and see if I was still in his dreams.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, brought to you by ClubWPT.com. You'll never lose another dime playing poker, guaranteed.
All right, to the felt we go. Young Rob Akery quickly folding his hand. Eric Afriat, a clothing man from Canada, also folds.
Now the German going out, so we're around to the Australian. John Karadad looks down at Queen-Jack on the button.
Yeah, he's still the chip leader.
He's still the chip leader, but the guys sitting in his blinds are what we call defenders, and just 2 of the toughest players, if not the toughest in the world, Phil Ivey and Justin Smith.
Well, John has made it 145,000 to go, but Phil Ivey going to get stubborn. He's got a pair of 3s. Makes the call. Now into the 22-year-old. Boosted J, Justin Smith.
Well, he's got a Queen-9. He's getting about 4-to-1 odds on his money, so certainly getting a price to call here. But look at this, Vince. He is going to raise it. He's making what we call a squeeze play. That's where one guy's raised, another guy's called. And even though you don't have much, you come over the top, just thinking if the first guy goes out, the second guy's going to go out, and you can pick up all that money that's out there. What a play by Justin Smith.
He's made it 515,000 into the Aussie.
Well, he folds his hand. Now around to Ivey, and Ivey very suspicious that Justin could be making the squeeze play, knowing he's very capable of it. Well, Ivey is going to lay him down, so what a great play by Boosted J. Justin Smith taking down the pot with just a great bet.
Looks like he's got a little raincoat on. Just came in from the rain, stealing a few pots. Nicely done.
As season 9 of the WPT got underway here at the Bellagio Cup, we took the opportunity to take care of a little unfinished business from season 8. 24-year-old Faraz Jaka picked up his WPT Player of the Year trophy, an honor the man known as the Toilet credits to psychological warfare and the power of monkey tilt. WPT Player of the Year. How does it feel to be on that list?
It feels great. It was my first year playing the WPTs, and I mean, I came in with a bang. I've always thought I've been good enough to win those tournaments, and I actually didn't win any of them yet, but I got Player of the Year, and I had a bunch of final tables, so definitely feel great about it.
Well, your journey began right here at this tournament, in this room, a year ago. How have you changed?
A lot of it is just how people perceive me now. I mean, I really don't think that I've changed much as far as the game goes. People know a lot more about me now, and that obviously affects how they play against me. So there's things like that that I take into consideration.
Well, you are known for your psychological warfare. I don't know how you do it, but you put people on crazy monkey tilt. Has that changed since the episodes have begun to air?
I think it's only gotten better in my favor.
What are you doing outside of poker now?
The thing that's taking up most of my time right now is a caster boarding company that I co-founded. It's called Axis Caster Boarding. It's basically a new board. It's a hybrid sport, and it combines the tricks of a snowboard, a skateboard, and a surfboard. And I'm really excited about it.
I guess that leads into my next question. What's your future in poker? Where do you go from here?
I always say I'm a businessman first, a poker player second, chasing my real passion and still playing poker at the same time. And as far as this year goes, a year after I win Player of the Year, I'm not going to back down because defending would be awesome.
Mike, I'd pay big money to see you on one of those caster boards going down the street. All right, the antes are going up to 10,000, blinds of 40 and 80,000. Back to the action, a quick fold by Moritz Kranich. And now the chip leader, John Caradad's going to raise with King 10 of diamonds. Ivy going out.
Now, John been very active so far at this final table. Picking up some hands, but right behind him, Justin Smith picks up a pair of 10s.
Is Justin going to re-raise? No, just makes a sneaky call. Rob Akery going away. And now the clothing manufacturer with a very snazzy shirt has gone all in with the ace.